Welcome into Simply the Bets, brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Aaron Oster from VSiN out in Vegas will join us momentarily. And later on in the show, we will head to the Fanduel Sportsbook. We will catch up with our buddy Leon Twyman, the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, as we get ready for Week 1 of college football season, and a loaded Week 1 at that. Also keeping baseball in mind, as well as the U.S. Open, which is going on, and you can watch throughout the day, into the night. Your bet pads there in the FanDuel Sportsbook. Get your bets in all day long if you're a nerd like me who likes to bet on tennis. All of those things are available. Right now, we head out to Vegas. That's where we find our friend Aaron Oster from VSiN, who is with us here on Simply the Bets. What's going on, pal? How are you?
I'm good. We got that little appetizer over the weekend of college football, and now it's finally here. Real college football.
I had a mixed weekend, my first weekend of college football. I was absolutely on Northwestern because in what world did Nebraska deserve to be favored by 12.5 points over anyone? So I was absolutely on that one. But I had parlayed Vanderbilt covering at Hawaii with New Mexico State covering against Nevada. And I was celebrating because for some idiotic reason I thought the number was 11.5 and it was 8.5, and so I missed on. Screw you, New Mexico State! Last time I ever trust you for anything. Otherwise, I had a very good weekend. Otherwise, it was a good first weekend for me. Big weekend. Obviously, this weekend. I imagine that will probably come up during the course of your 5 Ls.
Pretty heavy.
I got the split, by the way. What a stupid idiot you are.
I know.
Dylan Cease over 6.5 strikeouts.
Dylan Cease.
Stupid. Pathetic. What an off. I tried telling you that then. Dummy.
You did?
Big dummy.
I know. But I did hit on my love, so.
You did. You hit Illinois covering easily against Wyoming, so you did have that. Griffin pointed out to me, and we do like to try to revisit past long-term bets that you've made.
Yep.
I don't know how to handle the Brian Robinson thing because I can't blame you for it. Although I did tell you it was an insane thing. I thought it was nuts to ever think something good was going to happen to the Commanders. I did say that. But this is obviously awful, and what happened to him is terrible. Hopefully he will be able to play this season. That is the good news, is that given everything, it does look like he's going to be able to see the football field this year, which is truly a miracle.
And you know what? We're going to revisit that thought a little later in this segment.
All right.
Because I have something a little off the wall I want to discuss with you.
Oh God, I don't know how I feel about that. Let's get into it. 5 Ls: local, long-term, long shot, lovable, and loser bets for the week. We begin locally. What you got?
Well, I'm going to use most of my L's to talk about college football because it's here. For people in Maryland, I believe this will be the first time you can place a college football bet in Maryland. It's for a lot of people, this will be the first time they get a chance to really bet on college football. So a couple things before we really get going, I want to just remind people: lines in college football are way more volatile than they are in the NFL. The totals are so high that moving a spread a point or two can happen really, really quickly. And you're seeing it in week 1. These lines are flying all over the place. So it's always just a reminder, watch the lines, and if you find something you like, get out quickly and go get it, because otherwise it could move in a hurry. Both my local and my love have moved a point just since, a few hours ago.
Wow.
So just kind of keep your eye on it. And if you find a line that you're comfortable with, go out and get it quickly, because that will happen in college football. Also, please do not tease college football. Again, the totals are so high that teasing just does not work in the same way that it does in the NFL.
Okay. So set all that up to say.
My first play locally, I'm going to stick with Maryland. It is the one game out right now. The other local teams, usually FCS games, games involving FCS teams, come out later in the week. So can't give that out right now. Maryland will be the local, and like I said, this line has moved, and it's moved considerably really just over the past week. The line right now, Maryland is a minus 24.5 point favorite over Buffalo, and the line opened up at 21 and has continued to go up. Was 23.5 late last night, up to 24.5 right now. And while I don't love that it like, not that 24 is a super key number, but it is you can say a semi-key number. By the way, the key numbers in football, 3, 7, 10, anything that can basically be come up with field goals and touchdowns on a semi-regular basis. So when I say 24, not really a key number, but, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, you can see how that would count. I'm just going to go with the steam on this one. Obviously, Maryland should be able to outclass Buffalo. Their offense is so good this year. And when you have good offenses against mediocre teams in college football, generally they can cover these huge numbers that, make people a little bit shy about it in, let's say, the NFL. So I'm going to take Maryland in 24.5, though. Again, I would watch this one now that it's crossed 24, see if it might go back down to 24 even, or even back down to 23.5. But I'm comfortable right now on this number, taking Maryland minus 24.5.
All right. I am look, man, we're going to struggle. I'm going to struggle talking about, like, I agree. I think you're right. Of course I do. It's still Maryland football that we're talking about. And we've been beaten down over the years. But yes, I think that's the appropriate play here. I really do think that's correct. So I am with you on that. All right, next, long term. Give me a futures bet that you like for the week.
All right, I'm going to stick in college football and look at a conference. Conference we haven't talked about yet. I know I've given out a lot of win totals, a lot of conference plays, but I haven't talked about the American yet. In the AAC, there is kind of a 3-headed monster at the top with Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. And it's UCF I really want to look at here. I like their quarterback, John Reese Plumlee, and yes, it's the first time I've ever said I like an athlete named Plumlee.
Yeah,
that's a fact. Life.
That's a fact.
He's a transfer from Ole Miss. He was a quarterback athlete, and when Matt Corral came, they moved him to wide receiver. This past offseason, he transferred to UCF, where he was going to be the starting quarterback. Extremely athletic, was highly recruited coming out of high school, and just kind of had the numbers game when it comes to Ole Miss. And I really like UCF's schedule. They avoid Houston altogether. They get Cincinnati at home. And when it comes to, again, that 3-headed monster, they have the longest odds. They're plus 290 at Fanduel. And I think that's worth a play on UCF to win the AAC at plus 290.
I mean, I don't have a reason to tell you you're wrong. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I know enough to know otherwise. Sure, we'll just go with it. Down. Yay! How about that?
Hooray.
All right. Give me your long shot. Give me your underdog that you love this week.
All right. This is where I want to have a conversation with you about Brian Robinson Jr. and about something that it dawned on me and our buddy Tim Murray, who's also at VSiN last night. So we've talked over the past couple months a couple times about the comeback player of the award and how there's no real definition of what comeback player
That's a fact. Okay.
There's no criteria. Could Brian Robinson Jr., if he comes back, if he gets some carries, this is a narrative-driven award.
I know. I still feel like you have to do something. Like,
no. He has to. That's what I'm saying. You have to come back. Let's say he comes back late November, plays in 6 games, looks good, and you have the narrative of, oh my God, this guy got shot just a few months ago, and now he's here being the running back 1 of an NFL team and looking good in the process. Now, this is squirrely because it's off the border. It's not even a bet you can make at the moment. But it's something that I think if it hits the board, it's worth monitoring for sure.
Boy, this is tough. I understand what you're saying. Let me go back. I need to pull up winners of the Comeback Player of the Year award because I believe that for the most part, they're all guys who had pretty big seasons.
Yes, for the most part.
Right,
Alex Smith kind of played but didn't have a big season. This would be the comparison there. It would be Alex Smith.
Alex Smith would be the comparison. Otherwise, it's overwhelmingly guys who were at least starters, but more towards star types of seasons, right? Like somewhere between true starter and high-level Pro Bowl caliber types of players. So Joe Burrow a year ago, Ryan Tannehill in 2019, of course, which was his breakout season. Andrew Luck, Keenan Allen, Jordy Nelson, Eric Berry the year after he came back from cancer, Rob Gronkowski, Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, Matt Stafford, Michael Vick, Tom Brady. I mean, like, these are...
Yeah.
That's the tricky part about this, right? Is that if he just comes back and plays and is behind Antonio Gibson and maybe even J.D. McKissick on the depth chart, and as remarkable as it is, I don't know that that's enough for him to even garner consideration. I still feel like
probably not.
You're gonna have to remind me what did Alex Smith actually do in 2020?
He started. I want to say he ended up starting 5 or 6 games.
Like that to me is the barest minimum of consideration for the part that you're talking about.
I actually think once he threw in that year because of
because we thought he was going to die, right? Like
that in that specific year, that was, I'm pretty sure all he had to go was go out on the field and kneel the ball down, and he would have won it.
You might be right about that. You might very well be right. It's very interesting, right? Like I'm willing to listen to your thought process. I just feel like he would have to come back and really play. Like if he comes back and
I tend to agree with you. Yeah, he's not going. This isn't an Alex Smith situation. This isn't he can't come out, take a carry.
Right.
But I'm saying if he comes out again late November, actually plays well. Let's say he has he ends up with 3 or 4 touchdowns in the season. I think it starts to get interesting then, and there will be somewhat of a push from someone.
Okay.
Again, this is a long shot.
Yep.
This is something.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it. It's interesting. Interesting.
So something worth monitoring for sure.
By the way, Alex Smith 3 times in his life finished in the top 6 of comeback player of the year voting, which is it's got to be like we'd have to really dig in who else has had.
Now here's the thing. Now is that like for different reasons each time, like coming back,
right? Like from being benched, coming back from
being benched,
right? Yeah, that's fascinating. I don't remember all of the circumstances. His first year in Kansas City, he was 6th in comeback player of the year voting, and
because he was benched in San Francisco,
right, for Colin Kaepernick. And in 2011, it must have been off an injury, although he played it must have been some sort of injury the year before in 2010. But he was 3rd in comeback player of the year voting that year. So, I mean, technically it was about injury twice. It's just that the second one really was less injury and more nearly lost his leg.
It was more being the biggest story in the NFL, off season.
100%. All right, Aaron Oster is with us from VSiN out in Vegas. Let's get to the one you hate, your loser bet for the week. Do not make this bet.
So on Fanduel and other places as well, they like to give you something that is you package teams together to win the national championship. Instead of just betting Alabama to win the national championship, you can bet on 2 or 3 teams, and they have that versus the field.
Where would I find that? I would like to know more about that.
I will. Let me pull it up on FanDuel right now. It's in college football. It's in national champion. If you go to the national championship tab, you will see to win FBS championship. There are a number of possibilities,
including the one that Sam Decker pointed out, which is that. And by the way, I agree with Sam Decker. I swear to God, one of these teams, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, Navy, or Maryland, is winning the national championship. I swear to that.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's just one thing. First of all, these odds are very rarely, when you package together, what they're trying to do is people who just kind of get the casual, who can place one bet and don't really want to look at the odds and make them. They don't really make mathematical sense. Here's the other thing. Of those 6 teams you listed, all 6 high-quality national championship contender teams, there's one team I really don't like and I think is worse than the bunch. And, of course, it's not Maryland or Navy.
No, it's Georgia.
It's Georgia.
Yep.
Georgia, I don't think can – I'm not going to say can't win the national championship, but I do think they are considerably worse than Alabama, Ohio State.
I'm not sure people
Clemson.
Remember how much of that defense they lost. Like
they lost the entire defense.
Yes, and that was how they won the national championship. They won the national championship. No offense to Stetson Bennett, who was a gamer, and credit to him. They won the national championship because they had an overwhelming defense.
Yes. They had one of the best defenses we had seen in years. Now, Alabama's this year might be even better, but that's another story altogether. But yeah, Georgia is not the same team that they were last year. I think they're going to be a good team. I think that they'll probably win the SEC East. They'll probably lose to Alabama in the SEC championship, but that might not even be enough to make the college football playoff, depending on how the rest of the road goes. And there's one of the lines on there that's Alabama or Georgia versus the field. It's minus 124. And I think that you're burning money. If you like Alabama or Georgia, play Alabama.
Right.
Just play Alabama.
Play 178.
Because Alabama is going to be the team to win there. You're just kind of burning money if you play that. Now, if there is the Alabama Ohio State one, it's not here right now. I don't know if they'll put that up. That's the one that I would be like, okay, you have to do the math, make sure you're getting the right math, but I do think Alabama or Ohio State winning the national championship is interesting. I think that when it's just Alabama and Georgia, you're kind of burning money.
I feel like I'm actually getting free money playing minus 440 on the field against Georgia. If I'm being like, I get it. It's not a lot, but minus 440, like I could make that bet. Like,
sure, yeah. If you're willing to just have that sit there, a lot of people wouldn't be willing to.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But I agree. If you're looking at it simply as a stock market investment that's going to net you 20% over the course of 4 months, sure.
Like I can bet $400 and win $100. Like, and I get it. Nobody wants to do that because you got to sit around and wait for that. But I love that bet. Yes. I say I love it. I don't really love it because of the numbers, but like I still think it's worth making.
But if you have that money to just sit around, there are far worse ways to do it.
100%. All right, and finally, the one that you love, the one that you say, get there immediately, whatever you got to do in order to get there, get there now. You love this bet.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed on this one because I was staring down the spread in this game for a while, and it's just gotten a little bit more than I'm willing to pay. It's the Notre Dame-Ohio State game, arguably the biggest game in Week 1. The line opened around Ohio State minus 11 weeks and weeks ago. Is now up over 17.5.
It's a big number.
And while I still don't hate that for Ohio State because I do think Ohio State is like Notre Dame's just not going to be able to stop Ohio State. Their secondary is not good, and the Ohio State passing attack is probably the best in the country. 17.5 is just quite a bit, but I wouldn't mind it if it's definitely a lean for me, and if you end up playing it, I certainly wouldn't doubt it. But in that same vein, because I do believe that Notre Dame is going to be completely incapable of stopping Ohio State, and I also think that Ohio State is not going to let up on the gas at all. This isn't going to be a situation where they pull their starters midway through the third quarter or anything like that. They know this is, obviously a big profile for Ohio State, and they have 3 Heisman contenders on that team. They want to rack up as many stats as they can, knowing that, again, because this is the biggest game of Week 1, it's all the spotlight, and it's, arguably the biggest game in the month of September, that if 1 or 2 of their players have absolutely huge games, they all of a sudden get all the Heisman talk for the next month. The total in this game, it is on the move as well. It was in the mid-50s a few days ago. It's now up to 59.5. But I'm still willing to play that because I truly do believe that Ohio State drops 42 at least on Notre Dame.
Okay.
So I'm going to take over 59.5 in Ohio State Notre Dame.
All right. I like it. What's going on at VSiN?
You can check out VSiN. We are redoing our
some lineup changes.
And some lineup changes as well. So you can check that all out at VSiN.com, but subscribe to VSiN Pro, and that'll include both the college football and NFL guides. Check that all out at VSiN.com/subscribe.
At the Oster on Twitter is how you follow him. Appreciate it, pal. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right. Hope everybody hits their bets and enjoy some college football.
That's Aaron Oster checking in with us here on Simply the Bets. When we come back in, we will head to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Our guy Leon Twyman standing by. That's next. This is Simply the Bets. Okay. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's something else entirely. We'll have to figure that out.
Stan the Fan here, welcoming back one of my favorite sponsors, the Costas Inn. And everybody around Baltimore knows the Costas Inn is a great place to go and grab crabs, steaks, salads, soups, whatever's on your mind to eat in person. But did you know that the Costas Inn has upped their game? They are now one of the premier takeout places in Baltimore. Give them a call now to order your food, 410-477-1975. That's the Costas Inn over 4100 North Point Boulevard.
What's up, everyone? This is Tyus Bowser, and I'm excited to tell you that I'm back for Season 2 of the Tyus Bowser Show in partnership with Pressbox and Great Ace Memorabilia. Join us on Tuesday nights throughout the season as I'll be heading all over town with my special guests. And, of course, our co-hosts, Glenn and Rita. Or is it Rita and Glenn? What is it? I look forward to meeting you guys and talking a little bit about football and a lot about life. And if you happen to miss the show, you can now catch a replay Friday nights on 105.7 The Fan. Get all of your details for the Tyus Bowser Show right now at PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser.
The next Tyus Bowser Show is Tuesday, September 6th at 7 p.m. at Guilford Hall Brewery, 1611 Guilford Avenue in Station North. The Tyus Bowser Show is brought to you by Maryland Vascular Specialists and the all-new Ginsu Grill.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolka profiles Ravens tight end Mark Andrews' path to NFL stardom, from his late decision to play the sport full-time through having to overcome type 1 diabetes and more. Also, inside, we introduce you to football players at Maryland, Navy, Towson, and Morgan State. And we give you everything you need to know for betting football this season. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Demos, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Come experience Maryland's #1 sportsbook this NFL season at the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, the ultimate place for any sports enthusiast. Take advantage of our 24/7 kiosks, massive video screens, and watch all the action from the best seat in the house. With more money paid out than anyone around, make every moment more at the new Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
Summer is in full swing, and so is the summer seasonal menu at Glory Days Grill. Start with the opener, flash-fried pork belly with their popular Korean #2 sauce. And try their South Carolina barbecue chicken, or backed by popular demand, the lobster roll with grilled corn. Also try the irresistible crab and lobster fries, or the very berry salad with chicken. And for dessert, the Cracker Jack sundae with a waffle, ice cream, and Cracker Jacks. This menu will be gone. Find out more and get your order in at glorydaysgrill.com. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
To follow the show on Instagram, it's just Glenn Clark Radio. And to follow the show on OnlyFans, wait, I don't think you're supposed to know about that one. Any hoodle, take it away, boys.
We're going to talk to Leon Twyman here in a second. This is a weird bit that Amazon Prime announced this morning. They're going to use a different football in Thursday night football games this season. And it appears to be a different shape.
Really?
Yes. It's a really weird bit, man. I don't... it's the type of thing that you really, think has to be an April Fool's joke. But, to my knowledge, today is not April Fool's Day. It is so weird. I don't even know how to react to it. We got to call Leon. We got to get him on. But, what? I don't even know how to respond. It appears to be longer and thinner. And they're in the video they put out for it, they say it's more aerodynamic. I am befuddled. They show in the video them. It looks like they're stretching the football out. It doesn't even look like a football by the time it's finished. And they say it's called the Prime Football, the official ball of Thursday Night Football. It's faster, more aerodynamic, and it has a better grip. And it will be used for Thursday night games, but not the first Thursday night game because it's not on Amazon. All of the Amazon Thursday night. This is the most insane thing I've ever...
You think the players are going to be okay with this?
This is so bizarre to me. I don't even know where to begin. They're going to use a different football based on... How is this okay? Like, imagine that they just said, "Hey, but by the way, on Thursday night games, we're gonna have we're gonna actually play baseball instead." This is the most insane thing I've ever. I don't know enough. I got to figure out more details. This is nuts. That's the word. Is they're gonna use a different football for Thursday night football games this season, which is weird as hell. The place to go to bet on those Thursday night football games, of course, is the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Let's head there right now. Our guy, Leon Twyman, is standing by. He is the GM of the Fanduel Sportsbook. What's up, pal? How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Everything is all right, man. How have things been going with the betting pads?
People are loving them, man, because it's just so convenient. You can just sit there and just wager, and it's the best thing to ever bet live on because it's right in front of you. You don't have to wait for anybody at a kiosk. You don't have to wait for a ticket writer to input the information on the till. It's right in front of you. You can just get it ready, prepared, and boom, hit place bet when you're ready to place that live wager.
So I feel like football season is maybe the big one because I have no doubt that you, even if you didn't have bet pads, you were going to have people that were going to come in at the start of the day and stay all throughout the day and just be betting all day long while watching football games. And that starts this Saturday, obviously, with week 1 of college football. Give your advice for someone who's like, hey, that sounds great to me. I want to come in. I want to show up. I want to watch games all day. And I don't want to have to go back up to the window the whole day or go back up to the kiosk. I want to get a betting pad. What time should somebody that's coming out on Saturday to watch football all day, what time should they get there to make sure they can get access to one? Like, give me the whole rundown, your tips for someone who's planning on spending their Saturday betting football this week.
So we are still trying to push this out to people. So we still have some that are just kind of hanging out on the table and not being utilized.
Okay.
Obviously, that's going to change come Saturday when there's a lot more people here and they realize that we have those bet pads. People, they see our advertising about it and they look at it and they're like, I'll try it next time. But they don't realize, come Saturday, you're going to wish that was the next time because you're going to be waiting in line at the kiosk. You're going to be waiting in the line at the till. So my advice is we open up at 9 a.m. I'd say definitely get here well before the games start. That way you can actually get a seat as well because I'm sure people are going to be camping out in the sportsbook because it's definitely the better place to be at in the area to watch all of these games. So I would say get here at a very decent time prior to the game starting. Go ahead and get a QR code. Fund all of your money on that QR code. It doesn't have to be at once because you can go back and top up on it. But put enough on there that you're able to, relax and wager while these games are going on, and you don't have to worry about going back up to the counter or waiting in line to get more money added to your session. So that would be my advice, is to get here prior to the games begin to make sure you have a seat and to also make sure you have a bet pad to utilize.
I mean, I can't wait, dude. I really cannot wait. I'm going to try to get down there. I don't know if I'm able to do Saturday, but I'm going to try to get down there soon because I want to spend my day this way. This is how I want to spend the day, is just hanging out watching football and from the comfort of sitting on my keister. Are there other things that people should know about as we are get on the precipice of football season starting? Are there other things people should know about, specials, things that you guys offer maybe in the sports book that perhaps, people don't realize, like specific types of football-related bets that maybe people aren't aware that are available for them as customers?
So we do have some bets, but two things actually that I want to kind of put out there as well is that we have 2 promotions running right now. So we are going to be hosting a Fanduel Combine event in the hall. The big entertainment center that we have here at Maryland Live Casino. Huge hall. So we're going to throw this huge football party. So the only thing you need to do to get entered into the party itself, and this is just to get in there, we're going to have games running in there as well. So you can watch the games. We're going to have 5 kiosks inside of there to wager on as well. We're trying to get hundreds of people in there. So the only thing you have to do is wager $50 on a football parlay, and that will enter you into a chance to get into the combine event. Now, there is a landing page that you have to go on to. You'll put your name and your email address and your ticket information on there, and that gives you a spot in that event. So you only need one wager for that. Now, in order to actually participate in the combine, we're going to have a 40-yard dash. We're going to have football throws, some kicks. So we're going to have some games there as well. In order to actually participate in those, your name is there. There's a random drawing from everyone that puts these wagers in.
So this is cool.
It's super cool, super fun. So there's a lot with it, and the first place winner of that combine will get 2 tickets to an NFL game, and they'll also get an autographed football from Pat McAfee. So that's the first place winner. Second place will get an NFL jersey and an autographed football from Pat McAfee as well. And then third place winner is going to get a one-night stay at our live casino hotel.
Oh, man.
And they'll also get an autographed football from Pat McAfee as well.
Very cool. Very cool.
So that is our first promotion. So that is currently running
So let's
right
make
now.
sure. Let's make sure everybody has the details. Again, you got to make a 50. If you do, you have to be a Live Rewards member?
You have to be a Live Rewards member.
Okay.
And all you have to do is place a $50 football wager. We're looking for a two-leg parlay at least, but it can actually be any type of $50 football wager. It can be NFL, it can be college. You place the $50 football wager, that enters you in a chance to get into that actual party.
Wow. And that's the event is on the 11th, correct?
That is on the 11th, and it begins at 10 a.m. And the promotion runs from now until September 11th as well, until 5 p.m. So
Wow.
you can even go in the same day, place that wager, and be able to get into that.
And, of course, the Ravens are on the road that day, opening up in New York. So this would be the best place for you to go spend the day hanging out. Your food's taken care of. You can get your bets in, watch the game on the big screen, participate in the combine, win some awesome prizes. That's a very cool thing. I love that. Love that for the Fanduel Combine. All right, so that's the first one.
That is the first one. Now, the second one we have, it's going to be a Super Bowl sweepstakes promotion. So you can place a $25 or more wager on any of the Super Bowl futures with a minimum odds of plus 300, and it's going to enter you into a chance to win 2 tickets to the Super Bowl that's going to be in Arizona.
Wait. Say that one more time.
$25 Super Bowl wager.
That's all you got to do. Is just
plus
put in
300 odds.
And you get registered to win tickets to the Super Bowl.
Yep, you just go onto the website, put that ticket information in, and you're going to be entering a chance to win 2 Super Bowl tickets.
Man, that seems pretty easy to me. That seems like something that I might want to do. And a lot of you, this is the other thing too. A lot of people, whether they actually believe it or not, just want to put a ticket in on their favorite team to win the Super Bowl because if it happens, they want to be able to say, "Oh, I bet on it." Like I think I'm sure you get this all the time, where somebody comes in who just happens to be like a Chicago Bears fan, and nobody thinks the Bears are going to win the Super Bowl, but every year they want to have a ticket for the Bears to win the Super Bowl because if it just happens to play out, they want to have said that they bet on it. So you're going to go at some point, you're going to put money in on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, and they could. Like, you might win that bet. Why not? Why not? Go put it in right now. Register to win tickets to the – Could you imagine? Could you imagine if the Ravens are in the Super Bowl and you win the – Oh, my God. Oh, boy. That seems like a big winner to me. I would get on that immediately.
It's a win-win.
Yep. Definition of a win-win. All right, Leon Twyman, General Manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. How'd you guys do? What were the wins and losses for you over the last week?
You know, we actually we did pretty well last week in here. We did have some big winners. I think the most recent ticket I got in here was a $10 wager to win $4,500. So,
do you remember what it was? Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, all baseball actually.
Okay.
It was a 9-teamer. So there was a lot of plus money on there, but it was all run lines.
Wow. That's a straight up. I mean, that's pretty straight up in order to do it that way. Did it help you guys that the Ravens did not cover in their final preseason game?
A lot of people went on their money line, so we didn't really see too much of of an issue there when it came to what we won and what we lost. But there was a lot of money line.
Of course, the Ravens preseason money line, the most reliable bet in the history of betting, for sure.
It's short money at this point.
It is unbelievable, isn't it? Leon, I can't wait, man. Can't wait to come see the bet pads, the combine. That's such a cool promotion that you guys are running. Excited about all of it. Anything else people should know for this week in the Fanduel Sportsbook?
That's pretty much all we have going on. Again, our hours of operation Monday through Friday is 11 a.m. to midnight, and then Saturdays and Sundays it's 9 a.m. to midnight. Kiosks are open 24/7. There's 61 of them, and during our hours of operation, we have 20 additional bet pads to be utilized.
That's awesome. Leon Twyman, appreciate you, brother. We will talk to you again next week, all right?
Thank you. Have a good one.
It's Leon Twyman, the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. I can't because I got to do post-game. I was going to say, boy, I'd love to go hang out at the Fanduel Combine on the 11th. That'd be a hell of a way to spend the day. But, I got work to do. Won't be able to do that. I'm going to pick a day, though. I can't wait to go down and do it. All right, let's get a tidbit. You know what? I actually have a tidbit for you this week.
Okay.
Unless did you pull up John from Little Rocks?
I did see it. I have more though, so you can go ahead and.
John from Little Rock yesterday pointed me out to. This came from the Fanduel Sportsbook. A NASCAR bet. Now, admittedly, I don't follow NASCAR significantly, so I'm aware of names, and I was aware of none of these names, which was a statement to me about
these sound like those AI generated names.
100%. About how unlikely this was to hit. This bettor played a $13.49 parlay. Why those numbers? Could not tell you. $13.49.
Maybe that was like his max bet. That was probably his max bet.
Put together a 4-leg parlay at plus 7,408,700 odds on 4 drivers finishing in the top 10 of whatever the hell the race was. I don't even remember what the race was.
It was the Coke Zero Sugar 400. How could you? Why would,
I know.
How do you forget that?
The disrespect that I am showing to the greatness of the Coke Zero Sugar 400, which was at Daytona. It was and now again, over the years there have been some random winners at Daytona. I actually do know that those super speedways lead for big crashes and some of the field not finishing, and it just opens things up. To have some
that was what I saw was like the tid bit, I guess, that the person that they kind of knew that there might be some accidents, I guess.
Austin Cindric won the Daytona 500 earlier this year, who I had never heard of in my life. Austin Dillon won this week's race. He actually have heard of. I believe he has a reality show now on the USA Network. The drivers he picked at plus 950 odds, David Reagan. I feel like I've heard that name before. I feel like
there's an MLB pitcher whose name is Reagan.
I understand that. I think I've heard of David Reagan before. I genuinely believe that.
All right.
By the way, Austin Cindric finished 3rd again in this race. He's a Daytona guy apparently. Landon Castle or Cassill, or I don't know. Never heard of it. Plus 1,500. BJ McLeod. Plus 2,000.
Unbelievable.
Cody Ware.
Our intern?
Yeah, no, that's Carson Wheatley.
Oh, Carson.
Close.
Carson Ware.
Plus 2,000. And Landon Castle finished 4th. Cody Ware finished 6th. BJ McLeod finished 7th. David Reagan finished 9th. That $13.49 ticket paid out $999,433.63.
It's life-changing money.
Holy F. How, Sway? How? Imagine. I also have to imagine this is someone, if you're making that bet, I got to imagine you're making a lot of bets, and you've probably lost a lot of money betting over the years. But $1 million on a 4 random NASCAR drivers to finish in the top 10 at Daytona, and it cashed. That is insanity. All right, what else you got?
It's going to be impossible to follow that up. But I did want to point out, did you see the UNLV football game over the weekend? So they had teams have like a turnover chain.
They had the
turnover slot
machine. Yes, I did like.
So that was very, very cool. They run over, they sit in front of it, pull it, and then it spins, and then
I like it.
Yeah. All right. So someone people I'm not sure how much it wouldn't have paid out that much, but someone put $33,000 down on a college football bet this weekend. And the game was Nebraska Northwestern that they chose to put $33,000 on. And they did the money line for the Nebraska Cornhuskers at -500. So they just tossed $30,000 away there. Someone put a $3,000 World Series bet on the St. Louis Cardinals to win the World Series at 28-1.
I mean, that's not impossible.
Yeah, and it would pay out $87,000.
Man, the Cardinals are the type of team that just somehow always ends up being right there. I don't know. I don't know if that's a terrible bet.
And then I saw this one. It was someone did a 2-leg baseball parlay. This was I think last Tuesday or last Wednesday. They did the Cardinals -1.5 over the Cubs and the Dodgers -1.5 over the Brewers. They put $10,000 on that, on just 2 legs on 2 baseball games. It was +44, +444, and it paid and it hit, and they both won by 9 or 10 runs.
Okay.
So easily no sweat there, and they made $54,500.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's not a bad couple days worth of work.
Nope. And then finally last night, someone bet Aaron Judge to get an extra base hit in his 4th plate appearance.
So random.
So of course he did. He homered.
Yeah.
Number 50. So that was a +650 bet. Only +650, which actually seems a little low.
I don't know. It depends on when. I
guess it's probably.
Did he make the bet live, or did he make the bet before the game?
I should have checked.
Right? Because I do feel like that changes the odds a little bit too. There you go. All right, very good. Thanks to Aaron Oster. Thanks to Leon Twyman. We will be back on Thursday for Weekend at Bookies as we get you even more prepared for Week 1 of college football season. As I'm excited. A big week for you to be in the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. In the meantime, this has been Simply the Bets. May the odds be ever in your favor.